Well, at least 1,300 mainly Cuban migrants rioted and escaped on foot from a Mexican detention center on the country's southern border on Thursday. This is the largest mass escape in recent memory. Authorities say 700 of the escapees were either recaptured or returned voluntarily, but 600 are still on the run. Joining me now is Kelli Ward, chairman of the Arizona Republican Party, and Vince Coglianese, the Daily Caller's editorial director. Good to see you both. So, Kelli, this is very personal to you. You're at the border. We know the cartels are now controlling large swaths of the border. We saw these horrific photos or video of cartel members with AK-47 lookalikes ushering a few immigrants along the line. If we send troops, and we are sending troops down there, I'm sure the cartel's going to try to make it as bloody as possible, putting the immigrants in front of everybody, using them as kind of shields. This could get very ugly.
You're exactly right, David. I mean, this is a crisis at our border, and it's not just a crisis in Arizona and other border states. It is a 50-state border crisis, and it is it's an invasion across our border, and it's also a humanitarian crisis. It is not manufactured. It is up close and personal. Over 103,000 people tried to come into our country in the last month alone. In this fiscal year, 361,000 people came here illegally, as compared to 396,000 in the last fiscal year. It is a crisis. It is escalating, and we've got to put a stop to it. Congress has to get to work. They have to secure the border. They have to build the wall, and they have to put the necessary resources on the border to stop this from happening.
Vince, what really gets me, what really burns me, is the fact that Democrats love to portray themselves as the party of compassion. They are the compassionate ones. They are the ones that really care. And yet their unwillingness to even acknowledge that there was a problem on the border has led to a situation where children's lives could be on the line. They could be caught in the crossfire. There's nothing compassionate about that.
Yeah, how much child trafficking do we have to endure before Democrats come to the table and say we actually have to fix the border? How many drugs have to come across the border? How many opioids need to come across the border? How many American jobs and wages need to be imperiled by people coming across the border in an uncontrolled way? It's clear that we have to get the border under control. And to add to Kelli Ward's remarks, I mean, we're looking at over 1 million, upwards of 1.5 million by way of Central America this year alone. We don't have the facilities to take them on. We don't have the manpower to take them on. What we need is an orderly system, and we need Congress to act, but they're refusing to do it. They're sitting on their hands, especially Democrats, who'd rather see this status quo continue.
Well, Kelli, what's going to happen? I mean, are Democrats going to sit back and just wait until something bad happens and then blame it all on President Trump? Or is it possible that because they have no legislative record at all to talk about since they took over the House, that they're going to have to engage somehow, also because they look so bad for having denied that there was any problem for a year and a half when we could have actually done something to prevent this?
You know, I certainly hope that they come to the table and start putting people above politics. I hope that they love our country and they love American safety more than they hate President Donald Trump. One of our congressmen, Congressman Andy Biggs, just brought a delegation of congressmen to the border. He invited Democrats. They refused to come. They do not want this president to get a win, and they're willing to sacrifice American safety, sadly, in order to get a political win. We've got to change course.
American safety, Nicaragua or El Salvadoran safety, whoever is trying to get in. I mean, again, the cartel, they've got AK-47s for a reason. They don't plan to be the victims. The victims will be the folks caught in the middle. Vince, let me talk about the economy, because these numbers were just extraordinary today. I'm just wondering, how do the socialist policies of the Democrats get anywhere when Americans see how well we are doing with strong capitalist policies?
I'm wondering the same thing. How do you run against this economy? If you're a Democrat, how do you say, you know something, this economy is broken for you? The idea here is typically we say, okay, how is the president helping the working class, the middle class? Is that happening? Yeah, it is actually. These numbers reveal today that wages are actually rising, which is a very rare thing to happen in America since the 1970s. You see that GDP rising above 3%. The president promised that number. It's there. I don't even think the fiercest Democratic partisan can come out and say that this president, Donald Trump, has done something poor for the economy. It's only been positive economic indicators so far during this administration.
But since
and
they
we
can't
had a
deny
shutdown.
it, since they
we had
can't
a shutdown
deny
in January.
it, Kelli, the fact is that Bernie is still saying no matter how good and strong the economy is doing, no matter how many jobs are created, it's still income inequality is still such a problem that we have to make everybody poor by redistributing wealth, even if some people are doing well with income inequality. I mean, it makes no sense.
It does. It makes no sense whatsoever. And Americans are smart. They understand that wages are up, that jobs are plentiful, that unemployment is down, that they have a choice between President Donald Trump and keeping America great, or all of these radical leftist progressive Democrats who want to have equal misery across the board. They want to destroy the American economy. And you are exactly right. Anywhere that socialism has been tried, it's equal misery. And there is income equality, but it is very, very low income. Capitalism makes all boats rise.